Here's some more silly elaboration on why 10 doesn't exist. So I got 10 pennies here, and we each have 10 fingers and 10 toes. We are kind of hardwired to understand 10 as a comfortable number. And so, you can have pairs of twos, which then 2 and 5, because we have 2 hands, 5 fingers each. That's comfortable to us. Makes sense to us. That's what we are as natural beings. And then, so you look at it as a comfort thing, right? It's very comfortable. It makes sense in this regard. Then you separate them. You get 10. Just like your hands, you get 2 lines of 5. There's 10 pennies. Why doesn't that number exist? Why isn't it? Why doesn't 10 not exist? It doesn't make any sense, bro. You sound fucking crazy. And then you make a stack of 3, right? So you get a stack, stacks of 3, but you got an extra. What is it? That's basically a free penny, right? So you just swipe that away. I'll just take that, right? 1/10 now has been corrupted. And every time you buy something from a store and there is a repeating number, you are rounding and somebody's scraping that off. And so, what is comfortable in symmetry? 2, they can spin around one another indefinitely. 3, that's comfortable. That's a very comfortable shape for circles to make. It makes sense. Each one, center of mass, is pulling on each other. Everything is in harmony. And yet, we are still left with this little oddity. And so, when it goes into this balance, does that look right? I mean, it's like a trapezoid, right? But to me, that looks just like something's just sticking out and everything's now symmetrical. It doesn't look balanced. It doesn't look comfortable. And the same to 5. No matter how you really arrange these, nothing really makes any sense, right? Until you start adding 3's together. 3's form a pyramid. A very strong structure in nature, right? So geometrically, physics wants to be like this. Currency for the human corruption wants to be like this, so that they can scoop away that extra little bit and create imbalance, and well, that creates inflation. So for every 10, essentially, every factor of 10, everything we've ever spent, everything we've ever calculated, everything we've ever made has basically been off by this, by 1/10 of that. And if you imagine just how much has been screwed up from simply allowing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, where there's a 0 here, to restart at 1, but call it 10, and then you have 11, right? Well, this should be 11, because then you have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And it sounds crazy. We've been so hardwired into a factor of 10. 10 is such a comfortable number that how could we ever doubt it? I mean, the European system, metrics all designed and devised around tens, right? It just moves the decimal place, left and right. It's super simple. It's really fucking easy. Until you really get number theory and you realize that 369 is the same as 369, and what I actually have is 19. I have 19 coins here. Alright, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Hold on, where's the other 2? So you're missing 2 now, right? To make it an even 20. But these are the ones that are lost per 10. These are the zeros. So every time it resets, you start at 0 and you have 11 numbers. If you have 10, right? Or you have 10 numbers, if 0 is a number. And as soon as you get rid of it, you don't have 0 and you don't have 10. They don't exist. All you're left with is 1 as a value, and which in physics, this is the whole point of why I'm talking about all this. Matter cannot equal 0. M cannot equal 0 because M is square rooted. And unless you want to just be like Einstein was wrong, the truth doesn't fucking lie. You can't square root a number and equal 0. So 0 doesn't exist in numbers for physics. So when you calculate things, for every 100 pennies, there are 10 fucking zeros we've been adding. We've been adding 10 zeros. Everything's been off massively for this. And imagine calculating pi. For every 10, there's a 1/10 that accumulates, that we are off by when we calculate pi. That is an added extra number. And that number goes on for fucking trillions of digits, right? Jesus, it's unbelievable. So, what this leads into is a real fucking weird feeling. It just makes you feel weird. I've been thinking about it all day. Been driving me nuts. But one, we have 10 because it's comfortable to us. We have 10 fingers, we have 10 toes. You know, you take 2 away and you got 8. And spiders have 8. Octopi have 8. Nature's in series of 2s. At least life tends to be, right? Even our chromosomes are 1 or 2. Everything's pretty much structured like that until you get into like the same logic. I mean, what looks more comfortable? Counting, this looks comfortable because we can use our fingers. It would be weird if we only had 9 fingers and 9 toes. We would be missing one on one side, right? But what does that mean? What does it mean to only have one on one side missing? I'm wondering what that means, but and then I was just drawing it out because it's really silly to count like that too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21. It's really strange, right? However, it makes sense since 1 and 0 imply a start as you make 1, 1. So you're doubling a number there. I'm not saying that 10 doesn't exist. Obviously it does. You can have 10 things of something. Just like our 10 toes, 10 fingers. But now let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Which is then 2 series of 9s. And so you have 9 over here, and you have 9 over here. But if you add them together with standard number theory, they equal 18. And the other reason is because you've, so we would say it like this: 0, 9, 1, 9. Or 1, 9, 2, 9. You have one set of 9s and you have 2 sets of 9s.